All right. Welcome back to the nahsee exchange. If you are returning, welcome. If you are new, welcome same way. And here what? Like, comment, subscribe, and please leave us comments.
We are part of the
exchange. Join the exchange. Cause at the end of the day, if you're nahsee or you can't see, clean up your heart, make we talk, cause that's where everything starts. Let's talk about it. Let's have difference of opinion and go back and forth and discuss them. We want that. So join the exchange and hit that like button so that YouTube can spread our stuff to other Jamaican people, and subscribe. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, okay? And then share. Share with your friend, your mother, your dog, your puss, your cat. Everybody, share. Anyways.
So, this is part 2 of a little mini-series based on the last recent events of Jamaica having its election. Part 1, we talked about should the voting be mandatory, because this time around, only 37% of Jamaica voted. So the next question you go ask, which was kind of the end of that one, was, since only 30% of Jamaica vote, is the government really valid?
Yep.
Before we jump into that, my brother, legitimate?
Before we jump into that, let us introduce ourselves.
Yes.
I am Trina.
And I'm Charles.
All right. And we are siblings, and we talk about, this is our regular conversation that we have without the cameras on. So we decided to turn on the cameras and let you guys into our conversation. So join the conversation, join the exchange. So yeah, brother, like I said, the first video we did in part 1, we talked about, the voter turnout and whether or not voting in Jamaica should be mandatory in order to increase voter turnout. So we're going to link that in the description below and some other place in the video, whatever. My brother will take care of that. Anyways, so watch that one first. And this one is, should being that our present government, Mr. Holness, big up yourself, ground God. You're doing
bro God.
Bro God.
You know, people call him the bro God.
The bro God. Big up yourself. But only 37% of the population vote for you and your party. Should your government be valid to rule?
Well, obviously, under the current system we have, it is valid, because there are no farm government.
There's no rule against it. There's no rule against it.
But it is one of those questions we have to start asking ourselves, since that voter turnout has declined over the years.
I think so.
I mean, like, so what you reach a case like, 20% of people are vote, or 15%, like, it's no, you can ask, like, is it fair for 50% of a population to dictate the other, what's going to happen for the next 5 years or the next 75%? Is that fair? Or should we just say, oh, if the voter turnout go below this certain number, we just scrap the election, then it's over? You understand? Are you really valid if 5% of your population vote for you? Yeah. 5% of over 2 million people say, yo, or whatever amount of people register to vote, say to you, say, yo, are you for anything?
Yeah, but one question would be like, okay, one, if the concept of freedom of speech, then if somebody decide not to activate their right, because at the end of the day, now people think say when they don't do something, it means say they not say something. Voting is not one of those things to me. If you vote, you definitely said your choice. But if you also don't vote, you have also made a choice. Okay, whether for good or for bad, you made a choice. So again, like you said, 37%. Yes, we have to factor in the corona, but the election before that, it was only a 47% turnout. Then the election before that was like a 52%. So that But you can see that there, like you said, for the last 3 elections, it's been declining. People are less. So why should a government that only have 30 or 4 or not even go like this, less than 50%, if less than 50% of the people who are eligible to vote voted for you, why should you be legitimate?
Well, why? Some people will say, yo, it don't really matter. They had a choice. They just choose not to. Since they don't choose not to, other people decide to make a choice. So for them, think that's valid. And we have to just work with that.
Yeah, but I could also say, that's a point, but it's like a yin and yang. There's an opposite point to the same coin, as in if the majority of your people did not vote, they're saying no.
They're saying no, they don't like it, the policy, they don't like the government, they don't like who they might vote for. So why am I voting? Because whoever is the representative don't represent me, so me not take part in this. Because that is also a valid point. So you have to ask the question and say, okay, so suppose you have a system and say, all right, if you don't get over 50% of the population or the people ready to vote, don't take part, don't in the system. What happens then? And if you don't have mandatory voting, how then does a government go about motivating your people, your nation to take part in a governance by voting?
And then the question is, can you stop government all because people didn't vote? Like, things need to get done. Like, the government still need to run and things get done.
Country need to run, so
policy, everything needs to run. But so one would say, does things stop just because people didn't vote? I would say no, because here what the people who are like, let's say, tourism minister, we wouldn't have a tourism minister per se, but the mechanics of the tourism ministry department is still going. Even when there is a transition in power. So let's say a PMP was in, now it's a JLP, and them have to change out the man them. The man them are the top change it up. But the people who are do the work and the everyday thing and make sure things are run, they're still working. They're still working.
So in a way, I just say government still a run.
Them still a run.
The executives are right there. The
ones who push the vision and tell you like the policy or the vision for where we're going and what needs to change and what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. But what is already there and being implemented is still gonna be there until somebody comes in and says something different.
True. So the question would be then, all right, suppose I need 50% of people participate, that gets the 47% participate. Would it then be like, say, yo, should we just do over the whole election?
I think so.
Or you say, all right, 40% of vote, we can't win a vote, but we're going to now have need either 3% become or 4%, or the next 53% become take part.
I think that's messy.
And then vote
I think but I think that can run into being kind of messy, because it's like, now you have to keep track of who did and who didn't. And you know what I mean? Like, I guess you could know who did and who didn't. And then you have to make sure, say, all those people are accurately marked off the list so that they don't vote again. And you know what I mean? I think that can get messy. I think you should just throw the whole thing out and be like, this is not valid.
Let's do it over.
Do over. And you do it over until you get over 50%.
Okay. All right. So fine. You're scrappy, do it over till you get the 50%. So the question should be then, all right, we don't have mandatory voting. How else would you incentivize or motivate people to take part in a voting process? Can you end up in a case where you're doing an election 5 times in 1 year, 5 times in a couple months? Because every time, your amount of people not turn out. So what you going to do now if you get the people to come out and vote?
Well,
without mandatory voting.
I think we're in, all right, one, I think without mandatory voting, constitutionally, certain things have to change. So there has to be a constitutional amendment that says an election is not valid unless you have 50% of the people who can, that does it. That's one. Number two, again, the government have to incentivize people to vote, not going in and be like, oh, I'm gonna build your house and build whatever. I mean, like stuff that we talked about earlier. If you vote, there are certain benefits you get from NHT. If you vote, you are eligible for certain type, but you get more preference for certain kinds of jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. I think also another huge component is we have to go back to teaching civics in school. We don't teach that in school anymore. Our young people that's coming up, they don't understand the government. They don't understand the governmental system. They don't understand what it is, why, who's doing what, where, when. They don't understand any of it.
And that is this. You're going to have a system where what civics really did was it teach people laws. And it teach you your responsibility as a citizen in your country. Like how laws, because your rights. Let's not use the word laws, rights.
Yeah.
So by knowing your rights and responsibility as a citizen in your country, it gives a greater sense of like patriotism. We make you want to take part in the system. We govern. We go enshrine these rights and responsibilities. The government can change the law, state constitution, it does make all your certain privileges you have as being a citizen is gone.
Yeah.
So now that when you know what these privileges are, you understand your
responsibility
what the constitution and your rights. You're gonna have
your country is.
You're gonna have more reason for one before.
But not only that too. When you implement certain things like this, if you start teach that from like basic school, you know how much years people spend in school. So if them start teaching them something from basic school all the way up to college, that's a whole bunch of years. I'm gonna say this word. This word normally have a negative connotation to it. Indoctrination. Indoctrination is not always a bad thing. The word has a negative connotation to it. But if you are being indoctrinated from your young, say, listen, voting is important. You need to vote. From and you teach your civics of your country and government, and you know what I'm saying?
That is it.
From your basic school all the way to college, when that child is finished with college and now they can vote, in their mind, there's nothing that's going to think to them to like, but this is normal. You see me I say? Like, first when them start out, because you know, say car insurance was not mandatory. Before, it wasn't mandatory to have car insurance. Now, people, especially people coming in now who don't know history and don't know nothing, if you they have no concept that this thing was once not mandatory. Because that's all they know.
But
that's all they know.
One of the simplest things, and that's one of the things, examples that when me always personally use when people talk about, government, and people be like, oh, government, I do not fear, and why am I paying attention? I'm like, yo, driving on the road, it was your government who enshrined the law that says you drive on this side or that side.
Yeah, people should drive wherever they want before.
Exactly. So
whichever
tomorrow,
side.
They could easily change the law and say you need to drive on the other side.
Other side.
What you go do?
And you have to
drive
do
on it. Because if you drive on the other side, it's not a fine, it's not illegal. That's the power of government. A lot of the things that you don't see as normal today, at some point became law. Because the reason why you're not going to drive on the opposite side of the road you're not supposed to drive on, because you're going to get a fine, you get in trouble, you get prison time, all kind of prison. That is because of laws your government passed. So simple as that, just driving on the road. That's something the government did much years back. You understand? So that show you how one law we probably passed 15 much years ago is now affecting you today. So the laws that when they go pass today go affect your children and you 50 years from now.
Right.
So when you make people, so civics, when I make people understand the concept there,
right,
and understand, say, this is how government work, and how it work, and your rights and responsibilities.
Right.
So no, you don't have a more, you don't want to vote. You wouldn't they wouldn't have a teacher directly say you're voting important, you have to vote. Just by understanding how the system work and understand how this thing affect you on a daily basis, you understand that, yo, me need to pay attention to this because
But
this
you know
can
the other
make
part
my
too.
pension when me I work so hard for work not in the next couple of years. Because they change the law.
But you know the other part too, where this would probably in Jamaica also help those third-party candidates who normally don't get no vote. They would probably, I think you would probably see a shift from maybe a two-party system to more people who are like independents getting, because if some people are not voting right now because they're like PMP, JLP, I don't care. But if they have more incentive to vote, if the voting is not mandatory, but there's all this emphasis on voting, people are going to now be more like, they call it now, more literate voters. And they're like, I don't want you, but you, yeah, I can do you. Because now people are going to be like, I want my vote to count. And if I don't like these two options, where's the third? We might see a rise in other in our parliament system being a little bit more diverse, with people in there who are not affiliated. Because right now, like even in parliament, people are going to vote. All right, me not think. You're not Jamaica, people here watch us, you correct us if we're wrong. Like if there's a vote coming down, everybody is voting along party lines. There is maybe not one JLP person who, if Mr. Holness posts something, am I gonna say, you know what? I'm voting on the PMP side.
So my time is not even say PMP side, because it's either far off again. But some people do not just not vote.
Right. They're just like, I'm like, I am not voting. I am not, even though I'm in this party, I disagree with this policy, so I'm voting against it. Most of the time,
I'm just not voting.
They just don't gonna vote. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, because again, being a politician is a career, and people, most of all, they're in it for their own self-interest. Don't make none of them politicians tell you nothing. Yeah, people are selfish. So if their goal is moving up in the party line and staying there because of the benefits they get from being a politician, they're not gonna do anything to jeopardize that, especially when the man who will lead your party have so much power and can make your life a living hell.
I see, and like any work, you're not really piss off your boss. Your boss can make your life hell at work.
So it's like, to me, we have a democratic process, but sometimes in the doing of the everyday thing, there's not a lot of democracy in there. So maybe having it where in the Constitution, you have to have a 50% majority for the election itself to be say yes, it's a legitimate win. I think that should be a good thing. I think people should want that. Because
as I say, incentivize the people that may go up for your vote, we get you out and vote. Because one of the things when think say, because what we have now, we have a system where election time, at some time, I only time I see a representative. 5 years on a time you vote, you see him come around and he start walking and he come in like, hi, my name is John, or hi, my name is Sheila, I'm representing whatever party, blah, blah, blah. If now that just say you need 50%, the onus would now be on that MP.
To make sure.
To make sure, say, he go, what I call it now.
You know him. He live in your face.
You understand?
You can't get rid of him.
And I just sign, put up.
Right?
People
be
know
like,
them, do this,
I saw you yesterday. Why are you back? You know what I'm saying? Which is that which is what you want? You don't want your MP just to come around when a voting time. You want to be if you're tired to see him, and if you're tired to see you. But right now they don't have that, especially in those safe seats. They have no incentive.
Because as me say, you never tell somebody come out and vote. A win is still a win.
A win is still a win. Them not to work too hard to make sure, say, yo, I need more than 50% of my constituents to, all right. And in some area, say maybe, like, all right, where we grew up, Johnson Hill, Davis Penn. And let's say Johnson are more JLP, and down Davis Pen and more PMP. And if the man in power now more PMP, we go down a Davis Pen, but he now come a John Snell. Right? Because them not vote for me, so I not go up there. But here what? You are the person representing the entire area. Or you must say, them not vote for me, I'm not going up there. We're not boyfriend and girlfriends. You are an elected official.
But people do that. That has been a thing for a long time. People
right?
will even in the United States, people will focus or zero in on the area when they know so they get strong, when they go get most of them people vote for them.
Listen.
You understand? Because again, you don't have this requirement, say, yo, you have to have this maximum amount of participation and voters. They will just get 10 somebody to come out of that area and vote for you. And
you win.
But there's no vote, and you win, you're good.
But make we even drill down even a little bit further. Because we are talking about the election overall, we need 50%. But what if we drill down a little bit further and say, for your own constituents, you have to have 50% or more?
What?
No,
that would be a thing. Because
that would be a thing.
That now would have put an MP in a position where he have to perform. Because if a 10, for example, 200 somebody in your constituency, 200,000. You can't buy 200,000 votes in a party. However, when you know, it better you spend the money on infrastructure or we go benefit.
You have to work for your seat at the time, my brother.
Because you want to get the 200,000 somebody to go and vote for you. Because if you go give everybody a piece of money to go and vote for you, 100,000 somebody, a lot of money that.
Enough money
and
that.
No guarantee say you pay the man to vote, the man to go and vote for you.
Yep. So if you have 200,000 somebody in your constituency and you need 50% or more, that 100,000 people in have to show up, you know. You don't have enough money to pay in 100,000 people. So that would have cut out the what you call it now, the
vote buying.
Vote buying. That would have cut out a whole heap of what the word am I looking for? The vote buying is corruption. That would have cut out a whole bunch of corruption, because guess what? Even if you know you're a bad man, or you're a bad man friend, or you're a bad man in a garrison, 200,000 people, I don't think you have enough bad man to corral 200,000 people.
Yeah, that's so in the end, why the system would have really
me feel so.
Me feel say that interesting. It look to see how it play out. Because how then you as a representative have to deal with that?
Yep.
What would you do then, and how would you work and perform to get
in a matter
the majority of people come out in a year constituency to come vote for you?
Crowd of people. Or we get that suggestion at Mr. Andrew Holness. Me think that's
send it to him on Twitter or something, I don't know.
Me feel so one proposal need to be sent wherein the constitution needs to be amended, wherein in order for a person to be elected, their constituents, because if you put it down to the constituent level, at your constituents, you have to have more than 50% overall. The overall election numbers would be more than 50%.
Would be more than 50%.
So it wouldn't be the collective making 50%. It would be the individual constituents have to have more than 50%, which it would have drive up their collectively, probably would drive up the percentage on the national average. And it have forced the MP them to actually work. Because you can't just get elected and then they never see you again until 4.5 years later.
I just circle the area, the pocket,
and distribute.
I just circle the pockets of area,
where you know say you can get your vote, and you distribute, and you do your little thing, and just like how when we grew up. Remember when they were in a fix the road, or maybe when you're too young to remember this, and they were in a fix the road, and they must say I forgot which party, I think PMP. And them only as a PMP man get the contract, only PMP people I have to fix the road. And then even the road that you fix good, and the entire road if you fix never get fixed. You see if it was a mandatory thing, say you need 50% of your constituents to vote for you to get re-elected.
Everybody get employed.
I better say they wouldn't do that thing. The road would have fixed in its entirety, and you wouldn't care if the person's a labor right or PMP, you'd have probably give them a CE contract. Because guess what? At the end of the day, you are not just making things just to benefit the people who want to benefit you. You have to do it in a way to benefit the entire community and at large, because you want them to vote for you. Whether if I'm a PMP, you want to switch them over, and if I'm a labor right, you want to keep them. I think the government should enact this policy. MPs need to
think it's interesting. I think it's interesting because.
And here what the other thing.
You would change the political landscape of how we do election.
And guess what? But you see, when you have that pressure, when you have this pressure that's here, bottom, because the MP them, is here, right? And the people them, and you need these people to vote for you, and you know, say, yo, me not get enough money to fix the road, give them the water, give them the road. Now you, because you want to keep your spot, you're going to put pressure upwards. Yes? You're not going to just sit there. You're not going to just get along to go along. You will fight and scrape for every penny that you can get. And you will lobby more intensely for changes on the national level and the policy level, because you know that this thing is going to affect you. And whatever restraints that you have as an MP that is preventing you from working, you go and complain, and you go and lobby people, and you go and do what you need to do, because you listen, me now make sure, can you make me now win election, right? Talk it truth. If you need to come up with creative ways to get things done, you go and come up with them, because you go say, me now make sure, me now win back my seat.
So, it can be something we think about. I think these are the conversation we have as a country.
Yeah.
Going forward in the next year, we are 50-something years old now. So these are the conversations we can have to see what is the vision going forward. We next reach 100 with century. These are the conversations, because we think there's something can need to do.
Some need to do. We can't have a next election in the next 5 years 20% and below 50%. You can't get a pass with this one called Corona. We won't blame Corona, even though Corona isn't it, but we are going to blame Corona this time. But before you're only 40-something. But it's not even a JLP PMP thing. It's just overall, the people of the country are sick and tired of the political process. They're sick and tired of the political infrastructure on a whole. And I think that it needs some zhuzhing. It needs to be zhuzhed. It needs some zhuzhing. Yeah, something needs to happen. Because you can't have people just disenfranchised and just feel like, say, yo, this is just a waste of time. Either you're going to make it mandatory, or you change the constitution that says, and I think the constitutional change which says every MP, in order to keep your seat, you have to have more than 50% of your constituency vote for you. I feel like that maybe would be a more effective change to make. Because people would work.
People would have to.
They work.
You would hope that people would have to put in work.
Yeah.
So, well, those are our thoughts. People can either comment, join the exchange, see what other ideas are out there in regards to the whole idea of what do we want to see in the future Jamaica when it comes to election, the electoral process, governance. How can we get the people, because the people make the country, make the nation more involved in the process. We
can't leave that out. The people are what's important here. And if the people aren't satisfied, you know what I'm saying? We need the people to be like, yo, we need that.
So, yeah.
All right, brother. This was a good discussion. Oh,
Yeah.
there's our third host.
This is
What I
Jem.
cat the name?
Hi, Jem.
Jem.
Yes.
All right. Hi, Jem. Next time we ask your opinion about something, maybe some sardine.
Sorry. What's his favorite cat food?
Yeah. What's your favorite cat food, Jem? So maybe next time. All right, guys. This is
So,
Trina and Charles for another. I think that was a good topic for the exchange and talk about the future of our country that we love so much and how we can make things better. And that is what we try to do here on the exchange. We want to talk about things that make it fun and whatever. But you know, I don't know, I love my country still and we just want things better. You know what I'm saying? Like it can be better than what it is. There's no reason that Jamaica is not like one of the top leading countries in the Caribbean for everything. I mean, tourism, when it comes to finance, when it comes to like just with the people, because you know there are places in the world that them rate you best place to live. Jamaica needs to be top 5 now. Them something the best place to live because the healthcare is so good. People want to come to your country. You know what I mean? Going to hospital, people not think they go to hospital, they just go if you go dead. Like no, because our healthcare system is so great that you want to go. You book your tour. I'm going to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? Like the social services in our country should be A1. Like finances, people can actually work and have not just a living wage, but them can be prosperous. They can buy house and buy car and buy what they want without no problems. And if you go thief and shoot and rob and you know what I'm saying? Like Jamaica should be and can be one of the best countries, leading countries in the Caribbean in all these areas. Returning residents should not have no fear. Just come on. Come on. Carry all your bungalow and all your money. Come. Yes.
but the process starts with us. And it starts with true government. And as me say, and looking at the election, people don't realize that. So we just so that's why the question is, how do you get people to take more part?
You're right. Right. Okay. Well, again, like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. Share the video. And
also share your thoughts.
share your thoughts. Share your thoughts. All right, guys. Until next time. Goodbye.